All in the name of Hollywood. Drivers trying to make their way into downtown Albuquerque from Lead Avenue will be inconvenienced for the next 5 days.
That's because a new movie is about to be filmed on Lead between Broadway and 2nd Street, and as a result, you cannot use the road right there. News 13's David Romero is live out there right now. David, those barrels look like they're up behind you. Road already closed, I take it?
Roads closed, barrels are up, and of course, Matt, this is not deja vu. We were actually out here in the same spot yesterday. This is not a replay of yesterday's broadcast, but here's why. Because of all indications that we received prior to yesterday showed that the road was going to be closed at that time. Well, not so. It wasn't going to happen until today, and this was all, of course, courtesy of road signs and press releases. But take a look behind me now. You can see that the signs are up and the barrels are out. And we found a change course, of course, on the new signs saying that it wouldn't start until today. Now you can see that's happening now. We put in a call to some city offices and found out that the movie company shooting the movie put in a request with the city to have the date of their permit moved from the 23rd to the 24th. The reason why? Well, that's up to movie execs. Now, in either way, this is an important heads up to all drivers that use the Lead entrance into downtown to find an alternative route. You can, of course, take Broadway north to Central or that same road south to Bridge. And here's what it's all for. The new release called Two Guns. This is a movie starring Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg as a DEA agent and naval intelligence officer who believe they have been set up by the mob. Again, this closure is going to affect a lot of traffic coming into the downtown area, not just here on Lead, but everybody else is trying to get off of it and go to alternative routes. You're going to want to allow yourself plenty of time in the next few mornings all the way through Tuesday night at 8 if you want to be coming this way. Matt, back to you.
All right, thank you for the big heads up this morning, David. Now, if you want to see what all the fuss is about on the big screen for this movie, you'll have to wait a little while because Two Guns is not expected out until in theaters until next year. And one more traffic heads up for you this morning. This at Montano and 2nd Street in Albuquerque. Water main broke there yesterday morning and had the intersection closed for quite some time. Crews are set to be back out there later today cleaning up that mess.
The man charged with the recent murders of a woman and her nephew is expected to make a court appearance today. Brian Pulliam was arrested yesterday. Cops are charging him with the double murder of Kirsten Landau and Dylan Searfoss. The victims were found shot to death in a northeast Albuquerque home Tuesday evening. We're told the suspect is Kristen's ex-boyfriend. Family members told police that the couple had a history of domestic violence. We've also learned that the suspect also has a criminal record. Police say he's been arrested for auto theft, armed robbery, to even attempted murder.
All the way up to attempted murder, where he served time in prison for that charge.
The attempted murder case was back in 1996 when police say Pulliam and a group of his friends randomly chose a man and stomped on his head, leaving him in a coma for a while. The suspect is also a self-proclaimed white supremacist. We've also learned that Kirsten was a tattoo and piercing model through the Duke City's Darlings. The group will be holding a memorial for her and her nephew tonight at 8 p.m. It will be at Fox Memorial Park on Lomas and Alvarado in northeast Albuquerque.
Well, later today, Albuquerque Mayor R.J. Berry is set to honor the police officers and people who helped investigators the murder at a 7-Eleven last month. They are this week's Friday's Heroes and will be honored at City Hall at 2 this afternoon. Back in July, police say Eloy Aguilar, Dylan Villarreal, and Julian De Herrera, these three young men, were at the 7-Eleven across from UNM early one morning when Aguilar shot and killed a clerk there named Chad Mercer. All three men are now charged with murder. Well, some encouraging news this morning with the two teenagers from La Cueva High School who were seriously hurt in a car crash last month. Jessica Sanchez has been airlifted to Craig Hospital in Denver. It's a place that specializes in traumatic brain injuries. In July, Sanchez and her best friend, Lily Pickard, crashed and rolled their SUV on Paseo del Norte near Tramway. They were not wearing their seatbelts and were thrown out of that SUV. Both have serious brain injuries and were in comas for weeks. Pickard is still in the hospital in Albuquerque and should also be going to Denver sometime soon.
An APS mother is upset this morning, saying the school district backed down in punishing a bully who was sending horrible text messages to her son. In May, we told you how the hateful messages were sent to Jill Frankel's son. Well, both teens go to El Dorado High School. The district had suspended the bullying teen until January, but now the district says a long-term suspension is not appropriate, so the bullying teen is back in school.
It would have been really respectful and awesome of them had they given us some warning that this child was back at school, and they just told me that they weren't able to do that because he wasn't my child.
The district says the two teens will not have any classes together, and the bullying teen could still face criminal charges for harassment. A state police officer is in trouble this morning. Investigators say recently the officer was caught paying a visit to Cheeks Strip Club in Santa Fe in his patrol car while he was off duty. He has been suspended for now. State police is not releasing the officer's identity. All they are saying is that he was in Santa Fe for a training at the time.
Well, happening now, flags are set to fly at half-staff today to honor a public safety officer who died last week while helping with a car crash. Governor Susana Martinez ordered the flags to be flown at half-staff for Robert Potter. He had a massive heart attack after helping rescue people involved in his tractor-trailer crash near Vado. Potter died the next day. He was 41 years old and leaves behind a wife and a son. And also happening today, Bernalillo County firefighters will kick off their annual drive to raise money for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. So from now until August 29th, firefighters will be in front of stores all around the county collecting donations. Last year, they raised more than $25,000 with the fundraiser. So if you have any extra change with you, bring it out when you go shopping this weekend.